Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is day 2 of our February 2022 release, and I have a card and treat to share. Hey everybody, so I am using Jaded Blossom St. Patrick's Day dies, along with their Irish Gnome stamp set, their Ric Rac Topper dies, their Candy Grid dies, their Spring Icon stamp set, their Valentine Word dies. I'm also using the St. Patrick's Word dies and the St. Patrick's Candy dies, grid style. So I went ahead and stamped out those little sentiments, and I cut them out using the Candy Grid die, which is pretty cool. And now I'm just using a Copic marker to fill in the green shamrock on each little one. You'll notice that I also cut out some striped rainbow paper from Doodlebug, just with the Candy Grid die to go on the bottom of the little Hershey Kisses. So I'm going to be making a treat using that 3x4 inch clear bag from Jaded Blossom, along with a Ric Rac Topper. And I'll make a matching rainbow or Ric Rac mini card. So I've got a little Uniball Signo gold rolling pen there, and I'm going to color in the little lucky, I don't even know what it's called. Is it a lucky horseshoe? I'm going to color that in, and I used a black glaze pen just to dot the little nails on it. I didn't want to show you doing it because it was taking me too long. So there we go. So now I'm using glue dots, and I'm just sticking one to the back of each of the little candy, decorative candy grid stamps and dies. You know, each one that I'll be using on the Hershey Kisses that I have in the upper left-hand corner there. So I'm just going to use 5 of them in this little bag. And I'm going to stick a little shamrock that I cut out using the St. Patrick's Day dies from Jaded Blossom. I just grabbed it with my Studio Katia embellishment wand. And I used my Teflon bone folder just to make sure they were stuck down well, and then I will add them to the bottoms of my kisses. This is so fast and easy with the new stamp sets from Jaded Blossom, the St. Patrick's Day Candies grid style stamp sets. They have them for different holidays too. They're fabulous. And the grid die. You can't live without them if you make candies or little candy treat bags. So now I'm just adding them to the bottom of each of these little Hershey Kisses. So super quick and easy stuff. This is just some leftover paper that filled like a gift basket that I had. I always keep the leftovers because I can use them in treats. And I'm just going to stick them in a little clear baggie. And then I'm going to rustle some Hershey's Kisses in there. If anyone knows a better way of doing this, let me know, because I have the hardest time putting these in there and having them straight. I don't know. I'm all thumbs when it comes to this. I don't know why, because making treats, candy treats, are so super easy. But for me, getting them in the little bag with the paper so they're all facing in the same direction is hard. I don't know what it is. So if anyone has any tips, let me know in the comments. So there we go. Just trying to get everything lined up. And then I will have them all in the little candy bag, which is kind of fun, right? You know, if you're going to give out some little candies, treats for your kids, treats for your class, the kids' classes, treats for people at work, it's lots of fun. So now that is my little candy Ric Rac Topper. So that is cut out of American Crafts green cardstock. And then the rainbow print paper is Doodlebug's Pot of Gold 6-inch pad. So I cut out all my dies using my Gemini machine. And now I'm taking up my mini stapler from Close to My Heart, and I'm just going to staple this topper onto the clear bag. And then I will stick down my little pattern paper, the top layer die cut down with my ATG tape. And I'm just going to stick that down, and that will be like that's cute already. Like, look at that. You don't have to do much. And now I'm going to make a quick card using these. So I'm just going to cut off the front of another one of these little Ric Rac Topper dies. And then you'll see how I make a little fast mini card. This would be perfect to tie onto a gift, shove in a little mini envelope, whatever. So now I'm just going to cover up the side with the little handle with that little extra front piece. And then that covers it up. And now you've got a little card. Like, how cute is that? There we go. So now I'm going to add the same rainbow paper to the front of this using my ATG tape. And then we will pop that on the front of this little tiny mini card. And then we're just going to do some decorating. So there you have it, a cute little card. Just going to make sure it's stuck down well with my Teflon bone folder. Now these are two pre-colored images that I have. One is from the Spring Icon stamp set and one is from the Irish Gnomes. Now I'm just showing you the difference between an SVG cutout sentiment and a die cut sentiment. You see the one on the right is the die cut, the one on the left is the SVG cut. I live in Canada and my dies hadn't reached me yet, so I thought I'd show you the difference between an SVG versus a die. I find a die is way more superior. It just gives a really finished look. Now, I've used SVGs in the past. They work perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with an SVG, but there's something nice about a beautifully die cut, especially with sentiments. They have a nice rounded edge. So now I am just adding some Mode Lawn Distress ink to the edge of this St. Patrick's Day little clover that I cut out using the St. Patrick's dies. And then I'm using Doodlebug's Pot of Gold 6-inch pad. You'll notice that I cut out this little label and I'm just rounding the corners with a 1/2-inch corner rounder. And I'm going to add that to the inside of the card just with that Adtech glue runner. And that's going to cover up the little handle. And then you can write your sentiment on the right-hand side or what you'd like to say to the recipient. So that little lucky horseshoe was cut out of American Crafts Christmas foil pad in gold. And then I cut the shadow layer in paper tray ink black cardstock. And the white cardstock for the card base was actually Paper Tray Ink's white cardstock. So now I'm adding this little shamrock to the front of the shadow layer in black from Paper Tray Ink. And there we go. Make sure I get good contact. Just taking off any extra adhesive with my adhesive eraser. And now I'm going to put things together here. So there's my little shamrock. And then I'll be adding the sentiment, Be Lucky. The word be is from the Valentine Words sentiment set and dies. And that's why it's, like I said, it's die cut. And then the word lucky is from the new St. Patrick's Day word dies. And I don't have them yet, so I had to cut them out using an SVG. That's why they're not as rounded, as you can see. And I'm going to add, this is a little Spring Icon gnome, and then that is the Irish Gnomes. And I'll use the little these little gnomes. I'm going to pop them up with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And I'll try and list the colors that I used for these. I colored them with Copic marker, stamped onto Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock with Ink on 3's Blackout ink. Now I'm grabbing a piece of American Crafts ribbon, and I'm going to use my Bow Easy to tie a quick bow. And then I will add it to my little treat bag in the upper left-hand corner. There we go. All my bows are always tied with this thing because I am all thumbs when it comes to tying bows. There we go. And then I will trim off the tails with a pair of scissors here. And then I will add this to my bag with a glue dot. Just because I had them out, I use hot glue, whatever works for you. And there we go. I'll add that to the little handle. I think this is a super cute little treat bag. So it says Be Lucky. And now I'm going to add a few little gold sequins using my Studio Katia embellishment wand. I don't even know the brand of these. They were like in a Christmas mix. Like I said, using that Studio Katia embellishment wand with some art glitter glue. And I'm just adding a few gold ones. Now, I really just had to bring up the point. Now look at that. I find that the word be is much more crisp than the lucky because the lucky was cut out using an SVG. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put down this lucky horseshoe. And then I'm going to pop up that little guy. He is from the Irish Gnomes stamp set. And they were cut out using my Brother Scan and Cut with a 0.4 border. But I believe there are outline dies for these now in the Jaded Blossom store. There we go. I'm going to pop him up using my reverse tweezers. How cute is that? Like a little cute card. And what my sentiment is going to say is love and luck. And the love and the and both come from the Valentine Word dies. I'm going to stick them down with my art glitter glue. Those were cut out of green American Crafts cardstock, and then I used Whirlwind CTI Glamma translucent paper, or vellum, for the outlines. And I'm just going to add the little ampersand next with my art glitter glue. Just trying to hide it behind the actual, the green die cut. There we go. Because you can see through vellum. And now this is the word luck. That's the one that I had to cut out with an SVG. And I'm going to pop this up using some dimension with my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And what I did was I just cut a little thin strip, and I'll be putting little pieces on. Just FYI, as soon as I get the die, I'm going to recut the word luck and stick it on there. I just find that word dies are much better than SVG words. I don't know, they just look a lot more finished. And I've made a lot of things out of SVGs in my time. There's nothing wrong with SVGs. I've made a lot of nice cards and projects with SVGs. But I find there's something about a die that makes the edge much more finished. It just looks more like an embellishment. I don't know, I can't explain it, but I really do love it. Now, all my die cutting today was done using my Gemini machine, as per usual. And that's kind of my deal. And now I'm going to be adding a little bit more foam tape here. We'll get it all straightened around. But I'm loving this new release. I love the St. Patrick's Day words. That's another kind of thing that you need to sort of almost collect. Make sure you have in your repertoire. I've had them since the beginning, obviously, because I'm on the design team, but they're something that I would buy because I love creating my own sentiments, and I love the font on these, and I just find that they really, really pack a punch. They just look beautiful. I love them. So now I'm adding the little gold sequins to this now. Same thing. I'm not sure what the brand of these are, but I'm trying to stick these down and just get them in place with my art glitter glue and make sure everything looks all good. I'm going to add one to the little gnome in the lower right. And like I said, I'll try to make sure that I have all the Copic colors listed for these little images. I did color them a long time ago. There we go. And that is that. So what do you think? Not too bad, eh? So now I am pulling out my Nuvo Crystal Drops in Simply White because I have a problem. I always say I have a problem. And I'm going to add them to the centers of these little sequins. And then I will add a few just droplets on their own to these designs, just to add a little something something. And there we go. And then I'm going to add a few more here. I really do love Nuvo Crystal Drops, and especially in white. White is the ones that I use the most. I don't know why, but I just love them. And there are my two little projects, a cute little card and a cute little treat. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, the Jaded Blossom store. You don't want to miss out, and we will see you soon in my next video. Bye, everyone.